on this week's episode of The Chris and Andre Show.
It's time for politics.
The Republican Party has just decided that they're just going to be racist all the way around.
On a lighter note,
You've got a former KKK leader running for office in Georgia. You've got an Idaho Republican melting down because Hershey did an update or a refresh of a commercial, and you've got Lauren Boebert. It's like, what? How are we saying as like, or anybody that's a Republican, how are you saying it's a big tent when you keep giving so much of a voice to the fringe?
wait, Republicans are just saying they're a big tent?
Yeah, they are. I just saw
like
the
a flat one, like a big one that's flat.
it's a pup tent. It's not a real tent. It's really a pup tent. So you got to get in and lay down.
I like that.
So it's just I think that's I will say this again, and it's going to live forever on the internet. The United States is we got to stop pretending like we're this divine country if we can't address the evils of our country and call it for what it is.
I guess I have a question. Do you feel like there's any sort of do you feel like we are in any way a divine country, even if we made those other changes?
I feel like since 2016, and we've talked about this offline as well, there's been an overwhelming negative cloud, and predominantly with discrimination and racism in this country. And it takes a person like me where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I can, I don't feel like we're the best country. There's a time I used to say we're a good country, even with our faults. I no longer say that. I just kind of feel like, yeah, we're wilding out. We're
lukewarm at this moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a first responder and having my first station shut down because of funding problems. It's not that we didn't have the money. It's that the county was like, hey, we want to start this reverse osmosis water treatment plant because we want to pretend that Gen X doesn't exist, but at the same time, we actually have to take care of it. So we're taking all the money from the fire departments in the county. And since mine was the smallest, we were first on the chopping block. And I went from I was a very strong patriot to all of a sudden I'm disillusioned about our American system, because why would you cut money from such an essential, skill set? I spent I spent a whole year training to do a job for less than minimum wage, and you just cut me out, and now I'm making no money. And then this week, my therapist says, hey, just let you know, there's new budgeting laws being pushed around. So we're not going to have funding for your therapy sessions in 3 more sessions. And I'm like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Don't you think situations, less firefighters working and then complaining that there's not enough firefighters working, less people being treated for therapy and then complaining that the hospitalization rates for psychiatric people and victims are increasing? We're causing our own problems, and it's not that there isn't a way to stop this. Is that it's no one really wants to accept their half of the compromise. That's what it is. Both sides got to make a compromise.
I don't think it's a compromise. I think it's about the difference between right and wrong. Right. I think that.
But right and wrong is subjective.
No, it's not.
It is with the party system. Republicans think everything they're doing is right.
Well, but do the politicians actually think that what they're doing is right, or are they just doing it for whatever it is that they're lining their pockets with? That's where I'm, I don't think that Mitch McConnell actually believes that he's a good politician in the sense that he's doing things to help people. I think he views himself as it's my job to make sure nobody gets anything that I don't want them to have. That seems to be his whole MO is I'm Mitch McConnell and I don't like it when non-turtles have things that turtles don't have.
Every year his chin goes further into his skull.
It's amazing.
it's just
Guy's garbage.
it's
For the Republican viewer, I'm just gonna let you know, Mitch McConnell is garbage. Just not even hot garbage, just straight human garbage.
Well, and I mean, if you're the Republican Party, like you've chosen this jackass from Kentucky to basically be like your, de facto leader now that you lost the orange Cheeto. Like,
Only thing that came out in Kentucky that was worth a damn was fried chicken.
right.
I just kind of find
And even then, Colonel Sanders was a racist.
that's true too. I think
The dapper one.
I think the issue for me, it's like they're not even hiding the fact that they're racist.
No,
They don't have to. Well, they don't have to anymore.
Well, actually,
Trump's popular.
they do, but they don't, because they're playing to the percentage of voters that make a difference in elections. Right. That's it. It's like
they know that they have their base, right? They know they have their never Democrats, the voters who will always vote Republican, no matter what garbage is spewed or what horrible candidate they put up there. And you're absolutely right. Like, what they are appealing to now is that extra 5 to 10% that they feel is going to swing them the election. And I've asked that question repeatedly. Like, how on earth do you see this as like a long-term strategy? And that's what I've finally come to the realization, like, there are those Republican voters that you are never going to sway to not vote Republican at this point.
Yeah. So, with that, Republicans, thank you for telling us where you are and what you're all about. At least we know.
We always say that it's better to know where the racists are. Well, they're all in the Republican Party. I'm not saying everybody in the Republican Party is racist, but all the racists are in the Republican Party.
So thanks for that Google map for your locations.
To hear the rest, tune into this week's episode of The Chris and Andre Show.